your friendly neighborhood worship director here with a quick update. I'm trying a different method than the one I used last time, using a Zoom meeting this time instead. So anyway, this one is going to be real quick, how to adjust backgrounds in ProPresenter. Sometimes you have a background and it looks good when you're just using the computer screen, but when you actually throw it up onto the screens, you discover that it's all washed out and you can't read the text properly. So there's a real easy way to be able to adjust that. It's not hard at all, and I'll show you what that is right now. All right, so here we are on our ProPresenter screen. Now this is the ProPresenter machine that's over in my office, as opposed to the one that is in the sanctuary. And so it looks a little bit different. The dimensions are a little bit different. But anyway, you'll get the same idea. So let's take a look at this sample file that they've got here. Now this is a nice background, but it's kind of got a lot of white and gray. And if you look over here at our output, the white text is really quite washed out. You can even on this computer screen, it looks pretty washed out. So what do you do to fix that? So I'm going to go check, first of all, to see where did we get this from. This is Visual Media Church Cook 3 sample. So if I go over here to Cook in the media library, here are all the different samples, 1, 2, and 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the original file. I'm not going to use the one that I imported into here. There's two different ways you can make this adjustment. One is to take the original file and to dump it in here and then adjust it from here. But I'm going to say that, hey, all of these videos are actually too bright. I want to darken up all of them. So I'm going to go back to the original file here. I'm going to click it. I'm going to right click it. And then I'm going to hit Inspector. And that's going to bring up a number of submenus, these little icons up here. So I'm going to go to the one that says Effects. And you'll see there are currently no effects selected. So I'm going to add one. And we'll mess around with a couple of different things today. But the one I'm going to start with first is Adjust Color. So from here, the thing that I most often do in church is actually just adjust the brightness. So I can take something that started out really, really bright and just darken it and give it a much more impact. So now we'll have white text against something darker. So I've taken brightness and I've reduced it by 17%. And the end result of that, when I go and I drag this background back onto the slide, is that now this white text, and I'll make this a little bit bigger so you can see it better. This white text is much better looking against that darker background. So that's one thing I can do to it. Let's go back to the inspector again. So let's undo what I did and go back to the original. So let's do something different. Let's add a different effect. Let's do a color filter. So basically, we're going to take the original color of the thing and we're going to add a filter and a color over the entire thing. So you can see here, we blended some red into it. We could blend dark blue into it. And so we're just changing the tint of it somewhat. It's not like a huge change to make it a little purpley looking. Now, again, if we put our adjust color back on here, we can give it more of an effect. We could take the hue. Let me get rid of the blend color. We could adjust the hue of the video. And again, because of the way this video's got a lot of black and white, it doesn't have a lot of color actually in it. So these differences aren't going to be really huge. But you kind of get the vibe here of what we're doing. So there we can take it, add a lot of contrast, go back to a little contrast. So all we're doing is we're just taking things and we're adjusting them from the original. And this might not be a good example with the the white snow and the white clouds background. But let's take a look at a different one, for instance. Let's look at this blue graphic here and dump this in. So this looks really good as is. But maybe we've used this blue one like a whole bunch of times. Maybe we want to do something different, like, hey, let's keep using this blue background that we like, but let's do a color filter on it and change it to red. Or change it to green. You know, maybe it's Christmas time, we want to do, maybe it's Advent, we want to do blue again. Maybe it's Lent, we want to make it purple. So that's a way that you can kind of get extra mileage out of your backgrounds and to adjust them so that the text is clearer. Thank you and adios.